What up, y'all? This is ASTRODIM here with the Moon Horoscope. I'm back at it again, bitches. I feel like I'm going to keep saying that over and over again because, I'm working on my consistency. This is a Virgo year for me, okay? Be patient with the kid, all right? So, today, on February 27th, the moon is in Sagittarius, the third decan of Sagittarius. I'm moving to the first decan of Capricorn later on in the day. But I'll talk about that on the 28th, okay? But what's special is that while the moon's kind of like, making its way through the third decan of Sag, it's going to be conjuncting Jupiter, okay? Now, with tight conjunctions, like what the moon is going to be in Jupiter around like 11 and 12, 10, 11, 12 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. With tight conjunctions like that, our philosophies is deeply embedded with our emotions here. You know what I mean? Of course, Jupiter definitely represents like abundance and things being multiplied. And so, yes, we are more emotional than usual, especially with this energy, with the sun being in Pisces. So we're going to be more emotional, but we're also being a little bit more passionate, specifically when it comes to our desires. And we are more passionate specifically when it comes to not only philosophies and our beliefs, but how we can get good fortune with our philosophies and beliefs and different concepts and religions and stuff like that, okay? So yeah, there's definitely going to be an expansion when it comes to what we're feeling, for sure. We're going to be maybe even overly emotional, overly angry, overly sad, overly happy. But with this energy conjuncting Jupiter and being in Sag, it's actually, we're kind of fleshing things out, and it's helping us kind of understand something even deeper, which will help us understand it in a philosophical way eventually. You get what I'm saying? So it's really, really interesting. And it's for the good, because at the end of the day, yeah, Jupiter does expand energies, and it may feel tough that we're being overly emotional at the moment, but Jupiter also is an auspicious planet, so it's going to be for the better at the end of the day, okay? Now, let's actually talk about what I usually talk about first, which is what decant the moon's going to be in. Again, it's going to be in the third decan of Sag, which is ruled by the sun, okay? And so we might be even a little bit emotional when it comes to our creativity, or us getting fully recognized for something that comes of us, from us. And so it's kind of interesting. I kind of see this having more of a Gemini moon vibe, because Gemini is all about, your thoughts and your communication, while Sag is a little bit more about other people's thoughts and philosophies and how they think and how you kind of conceptualize and understand it. With this energy being in the Leo decant of Sagittarius, Leo represents like what we give to the world. And so I think that this is kind of like a combination of Gemini and Sag, in the sense of we have our own philosophies and beliefs. We're looking at other people's philosophy and beliefs, and we kind of making like we're understanding it all together and kind of resonating with a whole bunch of things and kind of clumping it all together to create a whole philosophy and belief that we have an emotional connection to, that is connected to our direct psychic abilities, in the sense of how we directly emote to things happening around us. You know what I mean? So it's really, really interesting, for sure. I can see this also being like having it's interesting because the sun is kind of connected with romance too, and dating. And with the moon and Jupiter being here, especially if you are in a relationship or want to be in a relationship, this is the energy in which you're kind of expressing how you feel completely through action, through doing something, the Leo way. Leo loves grand gestures, okay? And when, especially with, first of all, this is in Sag and Jupiter is in here, this is a grand gesture. So for some people who are in relationships, or you have a crush, grand gesture might happen at this time. It may. Depends on how it looks in your chart and their chart and all that, but that's definitely a possibility there. But we're honestly kind of showing and bringing a physical manifestation to our philosophies and beliefs that we hold dear to us, that has an emotional connection to us, our beginnings, our comfortability, and all of that, So it's a deep energy for sure. I'll be interested to see how it pans out for me and how it pans out for you guys. You know what I mean? It's subtle. The moon can be subtle sometimes. It's not going to be probably as subtle tomorrow, honestly, with Jupiter, but just kind of like reflect on these things and see how it kind of pans out for you guys, okay? But let's see any other aspects that are happening, and kind of see how that pans out. The moon is square Neptune, which is a little bit tricky. It's going to be like major confusion when it comes to us translating into intuition, basically. Neptune represents our spirituality, and it does represent us kind of picking up things intuitively, channeling energies, right? And the moon is like our direct emotions that we are aware of on an everyday basis. Like, something fell on my foot, I'm mad, my nail got chipped, you know what I mean? Like, you really reacting to like everyday shit. And so what's happening here with these energies is squaring. We're actually channeling energy here, channeling intuition, and we are not understanding it, and we're not kind of connecting with it, really. There's just like a big misunderstanding, and it may even cause a frustration because we have this feeling to go a certain way or do a certain thing, but we're not understanding why. We might even ignore it. It might lead us into an issue or a problem that's going to just make us frustrated. It's just annoying. You know what I mean? Like, our intuition's a little bit off today, which makes sense that we're kind of trying to lean back on philosophies instead of intuition. And so just be aware that this is happening. This is going to be happening a little bit on the 26th too. Just be aware that this is happening, and be aware that you need to kind of, if you're really having that great confusion, just sit back and chill and think and try to think clearly, and also of course include your intuition in it, but just think through every decision that is made. That's the best way to say it, because unless you're like really trained and to know, like, or you're extremely empathic to know when to follow some channel and message and when not to follow channel messages, then I would of course apply logic to a situation and consider the intuition. The reason I say that is because we channel a lot of energies, especially if you're empathic, which includes bad energies, low vibrating energies that will kind of lead us to doing something that's not so great. So, you kind of have to like practice that. That's really important. And maybe this aspect is actually trying to push us to focus on that a little bit more, The moon is also squaring Mercury, so that doesn't help because our logic's a little bit off too. Mercury represents communication, thought process, also represents routine and organization and stuff like that. And so with the moon squaring it, our emotions are affecting our logic. Our emotions are affecting our routine and organization and orderliness. Our mood is affecting our communication, and so we might be a little bit snappy. Again, moon is conjunct Jupiter, and so again, we're feeling a lot. And it's really hard for us to express how we feel. It's very hard for us because we have our logical mind and our spiritual mind channeling stuff, and it's just causing aggravation. Now, what's really, really interesting is the moon is also squared Chiron. So it makes me wonder if this is kind of like the root cause of it all. Even though the moon is making a closer aspect to Mercury, so that may be like the main thing. But with the moon square Chiron, Chiron is at 0 degrees Aries, and again at this time, finally, we're going to stick to it this time too. We're kind of revisiting childhood traumas connected to not only how we motivate ourselves and how we keep ourselves driven, for better or for worse, or for the most or for the less. The motivation is at, I guess that's the best way to say it. I know that sounds crazy, sorry. But we're also reflecting on childhood traumas connected to self. Our personality, our persona, our appearance, any traumas we experience through that, and how we can heal from it. So maybe this has something to do with making sure you look a certain way. You want to be looked a certain way, and it's frustrating you because you have your own emotions. You are picking up and channeling emotions, and then you have your logical mind here. Again, your emotions are expanded with Jupiter here, and you want to make sure you look the right way because you have this childhood trauma of looking a certain way and being made fun of or being ridiculed or something like that. And so that kind of may be all the connection there, which is really interesting. So think about that, okay? Try to find the root of why you're so frustrated. That's the best thing to do. Try to find the root of why you're so irritable, why your emotions are so strong. Like what's going on here? You know what I mean? Definitely do that, you know. What else do I want to talk about? Well, the moon is exactly semi-sextile Pluto as well. And so we have this idea, this theme of mastery, of becoming the best that you can. But there's a complete understanding of how to do it. The moon when Sag, you know, you kind of want to just go with your gut, go with your desires, your passion, what riles you up, what motivates you and keeps you going, what gives you, what opportunity that can let you give what you want to give to the world. You know what I mean? And you just want to move off of that. While Pluto, how you're naturally empowered, is all about status, recognition, reputation, and sticking to a plan so you can just like streamline to the top. You know what I mean? Kind of sticking to stuff, initiating things and kind of sticking to it until you accomplish what you want to accomplish. These energies are totally different. And so like deep down inside, you just want to just follow a passion that you're interested in, while, you know, naturally you are empowered and you get the most transformation at this moment through having some authority and control over the things you want to like focus on and kind of like sticking to it. And so there's some frustration there as well. A lot of frustration apparently. One good thing though is that the moon is trine Uranus, and so Uranus is at 29 degrees too, so this is kind of still some frustrated energy, but not so bad. With the moon trining Uranus, it's cool because basically all the emotions that you're feeling is actually creating a masterpiece from within, in the sense of your creative juices are going to be flowing, especially this is the third decade of Sag, which is ruled by the Sun and Jupiter, right? And so your creativity is going to be multiplied, especially with the moon conjunct Jupiter. And it's going to be multiplied because you're being inspired by your emotions, you know what I mean? And the uniqueness of your emotions, the individuality from within that's causing you to feel this way. You're going to think of innovative ideas and things like that, and it's going to inspire you to kind of make a change. So it's funny because 29 degrees represents aggravation, and there's definitely a lot of aggravation on the 27th. Your aggravation is going to give you a inspired idea to push forward with. So think about that. A lot of people say, you know what you're supposed to do in life, or your passion. If you really, really like something and you want to do something about it, or you really hate something and you want to fix it and do something about it. So this is the hate part of it. You know what I mean? You really don't like something really aggravates you, and you want to do something about it. You know what I mean? Because Uranus is in Aries, this is connected to, of course, self, like personality, persona, appearance, but it's also connected to motivation and drive and actions taken. Okay? So if you've noticed that people, when they, how they take action is totally different from how you do it, you want to improve, you think people can improve on that, you can make changes for that. If you feel like it's something else, of course, you can handle it a different way. It really depends on where all this energy is in your chart. Lastly, the moon is going to be in conjunct the North Node. And so, the North Node is, for the next year and a half, we're really focusing on nurturing ourselves and nurturing our others and making sure there's comfort. We're building comfort within our home or within our space. You know what I mean? But also that we are being nurturing to others as well. It's really important. The moon in Sag is not really caring about comfort. The moon in Sag doesn't like comfort. It likes kind of being thrown, or just Sag energy. It just likes being thrown anywhere and having to discover and figure it out. That's invigorating and exciting to them. Sag energy too is about change, and things kind of changing often, which Cancer doesn't mind change. It's a cardinal sign. It's not a fixed sign, but they know what they like and they go for it. And so if they have to be a little uncomfortable to get to comfort, they don't mind doing that. Fixed sign is more like, yeah, comfort's over there, but it's going to be too hard for me to reach that comfort, so I'll just be comfortable here. You know what I mean? Instead of just what's comfort? Jumping all over the place, like beautiful signs, and so, again, deep down inside, you want to just jump for whatever is passionate to you, whatever you're connecting with. And if that changes often, it changes often, while our life purpose is really pushing us to find, to nest, honestly, to find our nesting spot. So we're just not getting it. You're not getting each other here. But that's what I see for the 27th, y'all. I hope you like this. If you're seeing this on YouTube, please comment, subscribe, share, care. If you're seeing this on Anchor or anywhere else in the podcast world, definitely reach out. You can do voice messages, hit me up. I'll be glad to talk to you. I wish there was a messaging board. So if you're not on YouTube, just hit me up on Twitter. Twitter is probably the best way to contact me. Instagram, maybe. I'm more of a Twitter gal. So yeah, if you want to talk, hit me up on Twitter. It's IMMIDDIMMI, and say what's up. Shit. Hope this is helpful, y'all. And have a lovely February 27th.